tomorrow. And you may get there in time for the start, Rusty.
I just might. Marty, I got to tell you one thing. We're talking about Clint Boyer in the top 2. Well, I can tell you one thing. Tony Stewart thinks he's still in this thing. And as a driver, you tell me I'm out of it, I don't like that.
No, they're going to be gassing it up.
Well, as we look back through the field, hey, we've got a modified.
A couple of them.
Couple. Oh, God, it's been that kind of day, folks. A lot of cars damaged. We're going back to green flag racing here on lap number 150. Only 100 to go. Could we please make a long run? Marcus Ambrose pulling away.
Finally, after 150 laps, he started on a pole. He leads a lap.
Under green flag conditions, Jason Keller in second place. It's Jamie McMurray third. And here comes David Rudiman, the 9-9 in fourth.
You know, guys, Marcus has had a fast car all through practice. He obviously got the pole position, but Randy's, they haven't had enough time to really, like we talked earlier, to find out if he's got a good car. Now, this might be the time now where he gets some clean air. We'll see how strong he really is.
On board with Rudiman. Everybody hugging that low line. There's Wimmer in fifth. All right, let's get an update right now on David Rudiman and what's going on with fuel strategy, Vince.
Just spoke with Jerry Baxter, the crew chief, a moment ago, and he said we are very, very close. And he even came on the radio and spoke with Rudiman about it and told him we're right on the edge as far as fuel. But Baxter told me we're not coming in, we're staying out. So he's still got quite a bit of distance to go, almost 100 laps, as you mentioned. But right now they say they can go to the end, but they're hoping they can go to the end. The fingers are crossed here at the 99 box.
Well, you got to remember, the last time they pitted was lap 119. That means they're going to go all the way to lap 250 on a tank of fuel.
Well, he's got to roll the dice right now. He can't afford to get back in that mess right now and try to get all the way up to the front with as many caution flags we've had right now. So probably a good decision to roll the dice and go for the fuel mileage.
How do you save fuel when you're trying to run the two guys down in front of you?
Well, you know there's going to be more cautions.
Yeah.
And you're going to use those cautions for fuel mileage.
Give you an update on Carl Edwards as you continue to see all this. We'll tell you that Carl has now moved up to the 28th position. Remember, he was 32nd just a few laps ago. Meanwhile, Marcus Ambrose, there he comes past the start-finish line. Give you an idea how far back Carl is in the field. He's working his way through. Great job by the camera guys as they sneak up. And there is Stephen Wallace as he continues to come around, and Steven is right behind Carl in 29th position. There's Carl, and it gives you an idea just how much ground he still has to make up.
Well, they've all pitted right now. Carl Edwards, Stephen Wallace, the rest of them, they're trying to work their way back up to the field right now. They all got pretty good cars, but right now with 94 laps to go, I believe it was the right decision. I'm pretty comfortable that Rudiman staying out, Randy, was the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Let's get an update on Carl Edwards' situation from Alan Beswick.
He's reported back to the crew on what the car's doing, asked him how many more sets of tires they had left, and then he said, to paraphrase, he said, well, let's try and make something out of this. Let's see what we can do. They're back on the lead lap. They're hoping for the race to stay green for a little while. Carl feels like his car is better than a lot of these guys that are right in front of him now, and he can gain some ground, then maybe catch a caution and close back up on the front runners.
Well, he's now running 26 as he gets around Brian Clausen, so that picks him up another position. Next on his hit parade will be the 10 of Brent Sherman.
All right, now, guys, I'm watching the lap times the last 4 or 5 laps here. And the top 5 guys are running within a half a tenth of a second, so they're really not getting away from each other. The front 5 are.
Really, the top 3. I mean, 1, 2, 3, they were running about the same lap time. Rudiman's just a tick quicker.
Uh-oh.
Right here, get it slow down. Go high. All right, we're good. Yellow is up.
Still staying green. There is no yellow. You better keep the pedal in the metal. As now we have a car up into the wall. It's Brad Coleman up in turn number 1. Will that bring the caution out? He keeps going.
We are still green flag. NASCAR's trying to keep this thing running. Now Coleman gets down on the bottom of the racetrack, and the caution's out again now, guys.
Yeah,
so
Brad's got trouble as the right front has gone down. He is sparking deeply, and that reminds me of the truck race when Rick Corelli had a similar situation, but he was at full song, and remember, he went right into the wall, and that was before the days of the safer barrier, and he had a huge crash down there in turn number 3.
Yeah, those throttles that hang open on these cars, I had a modified hang open on me one time in Thompson, Connecticut in Man, you know, these safer barriers, I wish every racetrack in the United States could go to these things because, boy, they are definitely a lot better.
Tires shredding on that right front, and Brad's got to try and nurse it back in. So had a good car early in the race, but right now, as we set a record with our 17th caution, things have gone south for the 18. Take a look at this whole freight train of incidents.
Well, you see the 25 car slide up the racetrack. Richard Johns just drove in real deep trying to slow it up. Slows up a little too quick and gets hit in the back. And the whole thing happens, and here we go again.
Well, and then I think what happened is Brad didn't realize he had a tire going down because he had the contact, and there he goes. It's just heading straight for the wall.
And right in front of our Carl Edwards, our 60 car, trying to get back up the front, right in front of our points leader. Could have got taken out again. I mean, Carl's just dodging things all day long. He got in one of them. Gotten back to the front right now. He's picked up a lot of spots. He's up to 24th right now from starting dead last and back into about 38th again from the crash and getting there.
And it helps David Ruderman because he wants to stay out, needed a few more laps of caution to help that fuel situation.
Same thing with Marcus Ambrose. Marcus Ambrose said we need about 15 laps of caution, and they're not going to pit. And you know what? David's going to have his work cut out to pass those guys.
Well, let's talk about this because Marcus Ambrose, Jason Keller, first and second, last pitted on lap 95. Ruderman, Wimmer, Mike Bliss, that's third, fourth, and fifth. They all pitted at lap 119. And if Ruderman's worried about fuel, how can you go from lap 95 with Ambrose and Keller?
You do it with caution flags and gaining fuel mileage, Marty, because of it. And one guy we haven't talked a lot about, the 29 car of Wimmer. This car's been pretty fast. It's another car we've been watching the speeds of, and he can absolutely win this race if he gets some track position. Randy, he's flying out there.
Well, Wimmer in fourth right now. He is the only driver to finish in the top 10 in all 5 short track races this season.
It was the top 5. Yeah, that's right.
Running fourth.
He had a chance of winning a couple races and a couple. I'm not sure what happened, but there was races that he was strong. They'd led laps, and either a bad pit stop or something, they chucked him out of the lead.
And he won here in 2002, his only short track victory.
And Marty, you know one thing? He has no damage on that car. Not a scratch on it.
That took care of it.
It's not done yet, though.
All right, if Richard Childress is listening, I am sorry. I did not mean to jinx him by saying no damage, but he doesn't. Alan?
The other thing he has besides no damage, Rusty, no plans to pit under this caution. So Wimmer's going to take over the race leading, depending on what Ruderman does, because I look to see Marcus Ambrose pit. Jason Keller's crew chief just told me they are going to have to stop one more time, but now they seem to be waffling on whether they're going to pit here. So Wimmer could move up as high as second, maybe even the lead, depending on what happens right in front of him here.
Well, Alan, I got to believe there's so many caution flags out here right now. The strategy is all over the board. Should you pit? Should you not? I think the guys are worried about getting stuck in the back.
That's right. I don't think any of the leaders are going to pit. They might run out of fuel, but they're not going to pit.
As you continue to see the sun set in the west, we are still under yellow, our 17th caution for 80 laps of 164. And as we take a look, we have 30 cars on the lead lap right now here at race number 32, and you can tell it's getting a little cooler. Kevin Moss has put on a sweatshirt down in the starter's flag, and I'm surprised he was able to lift that right arm to get a drink. He's been waving it so much this day with yellows and greens. Thought that baby'd be worn out by now.
Is it in you?
Yeah. And he just took another break. He's gone. He says, oh, you guys just do this on your own. So as we come close to the top of the hour, we were supposed to be done by now. Welcome to Memphis Motorsports Park here in Memphis, Tennessee. It's race 32 of 35 on the NASCAR Busch Series. And I'm Marty Reed along with Rusty Wallace, Randy LaJoie, Alan Beswick, Shannon Spake, and Vince Welch. And we've had a season high and a record setting here at Memphis, 17 cautions today.
I would have never predicted that one, guys. But we were supposed to be off air today at 5 o'clock Central Time. It's 5 o'clock now, and we've got 86 laps to go. So, folks, settle into your couch. Grab a cold iced tea.
That's right.
And get ready for 86 more.
Jimmy's digging deep in the record book. The most cautions ever in the Busch Series, April of 1992 back at Hickory, 26. And the same year, the most caution laps at 132. So that gives you an idea. We are at 17 with 81 laps under caution. So it's not the worst, but it's darn close.
You ever see Hickory? That place is small.
I started to say, Randy, those guys at Hickory better not look back because we're chasing them.
You ain't kidding.
We might catch them.